Well, it's the return game of a home-and-home series with Wake Forest. We get a chance to go and play on the road, a true road test. And what a better time for our guys to find out a little bit more about our basketball team. We'll hope that we've got more guys that are contributing, offensively and defensively, that we can go into an environment and play a team that we played last year. And last year we played them early in the year. It was probably one of our more complete games at that particular time. And I thought we played really, really well. And so now we get a chance to return that game and obviously expecting Wake Forest, who's played really good basketball this year. They beat, I think it was Indiana. They were in the Maui tournament. They beat Indiana. They played against Vanderbilt. Close game there in Maui and beat UCLA. So they won 2 out of 3 games in Maui. So it's a team that has had some seasoning. Devin Thomas averaging a double-double for their basketball team. As well as the young kid, Brian Crawford, who's a really good basketball player. So it's a team that has some tremendous talent, good size, and that's something we're going to have to really deal with and hopefully battle them on the boards. But it's a good basketball team that's playing good basketball. I watched them play the other night against Rutgers, and they won a really close ball game there. So, and we know the formula on the road is you got to be able to defend, you got to be able to take care of the basketball, you got to shoot the ball well. And of course, we got to rebound the basketball as well. So it's going to take a tremendous team effort, very much like what took place here last year as well as what took place last night. We got to be a team that different guys got to step up and perform at a high level.
Mike, I think they're a +7 on rebound, but a -5 on turnovers. So, I mean, you guys obviously are good at turning people over. How do you think that plays into it? Because rebounding maybe isn't something you guys do that great, but they don't handle the ball apparently that great either.
Well, they're going to be playing at home, so they'll be a lot more comfortable playing at home. And of course, as you alluded to, their strength is they shoot it and go get it. And then we just played against an ACC team in Georgia Tech, and that's what they did. They shot it and when it got off the board. So that's going to be something we've got to do a lot better job of. And hopefully we can create some tempo with our defense, with our pressure defense. But more importantly, I think it's going to be worn in the paint. But you can make them turn it over. But Danny does a great job with it with his team. I think they'll be ready. They'll be ready to play.
Kawasi, I was reading that Arkansas recruited him out of high school, but I didn't know if that was you or the previous staff. Did you guys recruit Kawasi out of high school?
I remember seeing him when I was in the Birmingham area. I remember him. I mean, when I was at Missouri, I remember him, but I don't know if I got a chance to see him play, evaluated him. I think he committed as a junior anyway. So when you talk about recruiting, his recruiting was done his junior year, and he had another teammate that went with him to Auburn, and then I think they went to Kennesaw State together.
He's the guy that started the SEC. I guess it didn't work out at Auburn for whatever reason. Now he's back. Just how do you think he's kind of evolved? And how much has he improved just since he got on campus, getting to practice with you guys and work out and all that stuff?
Well, realistically, when Willie got here, for the most part, he was hurt most of the year. I mean, between surgery on his hand, his knees, and so he was a work in progress bringing him here. But we brought him here to give us a guy of size that can hopefully give some of our guys, our size guys, some rest time. But since he's been here, he's been working nonstop in the classroom. You can imagine a guy that's taking graduate classes as well, and on the floor, doing the extra things to try to get better. And so, but he was hurt for a while when he got here. He had to do some rehabilitation, getting his hand. He had hurt his wrist. He had broke his wrist or something like that. But he's come a long ways and still got a ways to go. But it's amazing. He practiced one way in the game. He just takes it another level. And he's certainly starting to find his niche with our basketball team.
Thompson travel with Trey Thompson?
Yeah, he'll travel with us. Will he play or not, that's a day-to-day situation. We're going to bring him out today and see what he can do. The only thing he did yesterday was just shoot. He just shot around. So.
With Trey being somewhat questionable, how big is it that Willie seems to be playing playing better of late?
Well, if you look at our squad, we got, I think, 3 guys that are 6'7" or better at this particular time. So it's really going to be important we got 4 guys, but it's going to be really important for him to come in and give us some quality minutes.
Do you think last night, even though that wasn't obviously the best competition you're going to play, do you think that gave him some good confidence having a game like that?
I'm almost sure. Anytime a guy can get almost a double-double in any setting and to play the amount of minutes he played, and he was in the game when it mattered, so sure it's going to help his confidence. And I think it's a continuance from the tournament in Brooklyn. He gave us some quality minutes up there. Maybe not, in terms of the number of minutes, but I think he gave us some quality minutes. So however many quality minutes he gives us, it's big for our basketball team.
You talk about the 4 signees and how well they're playing so far during their seasons.
Well, I think that's going to be a tremendous class, and those guys are playing at a high level. Jalen Barford with Motlow, he's probably one of the leading scorers, I think, in JUCO at this point in time. But more importantly, he also is one of the top assist guys. He's a guy that can share the basketball. So he's playing at a high level. He's leading his team. That's what I like about him is just he takes command of the floor. But he's having a tremendous year up until this point. When you talk about Adriel Bailey, they're in their season right now. As a matter of fact, one of his teammates was on the Northwestern team. So he's having a pretty good year up until this point. When you talk about Lando Cook at Connors, I think they're one of the top-rated teams in the country in junior college, and he's a guy that probably would get a few triple-doubles because he can score. He's real skilled. The thing I like about all these guys is they got big-time motors. Big-time motors. I mean, they play with an edge. And if you recall our teams, they always play with that edge. Michael Qualls, Bobby Portis, Landis Harris, any of those guys played. Kai Madden, they all play with an edge. And so we're trying to bring in those type of guys. And then you talk about who else? And Macon. Macon is having a phenomenal year. He had one game, I think he had close to 45 points, something like that. His team's winning. I think they're not only scoring, but their teams are winning. So these guys are impact players, and they're playing some pretty competitive ball, and we're looking forward to those guys getting on our campus. I think it's a good group of guys that want to be here. They want to be in a Razorback uniform, and I think they're going to really excite me. I know they're going to excite the fans.
Still wanting to get some older junior college guys because of, the...
Yeah, we got 4 seniors on this group right here. We had scholarship open, so it makes sense that we've got to get some maturity to come in here along with the guys that are already here. And I think it's going to end up hopefully being a good mesh together, a good group.
Hopefully next head will explode. What do you have left to go out in the spring and get?
We're still looking. I mean, we're still recruiting right now, and so that could be, maybe 1, 2. Who knows? A lot of things take place, throughout the course of the year. But as I told our guys, you never stop recruiting, and that's always been my motto: never stop recruiting.
You mentioned the other day you were looking for more out of Jimmy Witt. Just kind of what more are you looking for specifically?
Well, I think we're seeing him play a lot more assertive. I think when you get this level, the speed of the game speeds up. I think the strength of the player, the quickness, and I really felt Jimmy hadn't been playing explosive. I think we saw some of his athletic ability the last night. But Jimmy should be one of our leading guys touching, deflecting passes because he can anticipate. He has a great basketball IQ. We're starting to see the emergence of Jimmy Witt on this basketball team. We saw it last night. We saw it in the Stanford game. But he's going to be a guy that's going to a stat stuffer. He's going to have some assists here. He should have rebounds here. He's always going to be able to score. He's going to be one of those guys get to the free throw line. And defensively, I just want to see him continue to really improve.
I think he's taking a three-pointer. Is that just not part of his game or something you've kind of told him to?
No, he's got to take it. I mean, that's the one I told him. As a matter of fact, that's what we talked about. He's got to start taking what the defense is giving him. He can shoot the basketball. I think he's I think he's been more concentrating trying to attack and get to the free throw line or get in there and shoot the mid-range, which is great. When a guy, just think about it, you got to have to tell a guy to shoot some threes. That's pretty rare there. And it was rare last night. We shot 6 in a game, but we took advantage of what was available for us against Northwest, and it was good to see us have balanced scoring.
Does he shoot in practice? Does he have a good percentage when he shoots threes?
Yeah, oh yeah, he can shoot the basketball. Jimmy can shoot it. Yeah, yeah, he can shoot the basketball.
I think some of the players mentioned that Willie brings an energy off the bench. Well, what is it specifically that he does to kind of energize you guys a little bit?
I just think his protecting the rim. Our pressure defense is geared toward directing guys into the lane. And there are times when we're not protecting the rim, we're not in position. Guys get fouls, but Willie's getting his body in position, and he's making people change their shots. And I love it because he's rebounding the basketball out of his area too. I think when you get a guy in there that can rebound the ball, and he's one of the better outlet guys if you watch him play. So from that standpoint, and he doesn't have to have the basketball on offense. That's what I like about him. So and he gets us second chance opportunities. So when you talk about energy, I'm just talking about a guy that plays with a passion. In other words, he's giving you everything he has. And you can tell it because he ended up waving he'll probably be in there for 3 or 4 minutes. He gets his hand up. I'm tired, Coach. I've given you everything I got. So that's contagious. I think when you look at Manuel Watkins is an energy guy. He just ignites other guys because of his effort. And so if you're talking about energy, I think it goes along with effort.
How important has Drew Burrell been in getting getting the assist, and then how big was it last night for him to get into double figures and scoring?
I think when you talk about he's been a pass guard first, which I think it says a lot about him. He's more happy getting other guys going than himself, and so but it was good to see him really step up and knock down some shots, get to the basket and finish some shots off. He got to the free throw line 4 times. I think he made 3 of them. He's active on defense. But a big part of that, to me, he wasn't out there those longer stints. He's been out there like at 7-minute stint. It's hard to be out there and play defense and offense the way I want you to play and be effective. But the other night, we were able to get other guys in there to give him quite a bit of breather, and I thought he finished strong. He started strong. He finished strong. But he's taking command out there on the floor. And that's what this team needs. It needs someone to take command. We need leaders to emerge, and not necessarily just talking, by the action and how they're playing. And he's been pretty consistent so far.
Bill was talking last night about Wake's got a bunch of the guys back who got hammered here pretty good, and he figures they'll be up for payback. Do you get a sense? Do you figure you'll probably get they'll be very motivated for that?
They'll be ready to play. It's a return game of a home-and-home series. And we played well earlier. Like I said, last year, that was like in November we played those guys. And so it's real early. And maybe we just caught them at the right time. But we played well. And so I'm sure with the return game, they'll be ready to play.
Between road officiating and a good rebounding team, how do you keep your guys out of foul trouble?
Well, I think we've got to mix and match our defense. And I think we got to play with no fear. I think we still got to go play. You can't play. I don't want us to be in that the way we played against Stanford. We played not to lose, and that's what happened. So we're going to go out and we're going to play the way we play, and we'll make adjustment as the game is being called. That's how you do that.
I'm sure everything here is a lot nicer than it is at Kennesaw State. Do you get a sense Willie is really just enjoying being at a top program with all the facilities and all the advantages you guys have?
I'm sure he enjoys that, but I think more importantly, he enjoys these guys embracing him. I think that's the biggest key. We've got a family atmosphere, and our guys embrace him, and what he brings to the table, they welcome that, and they encourage him. And I think that's probably been the most positive with it, because if you hear him talk, he always talk about winning. It ain't about him and what he's doing. It's about, about the team, whatever he can do to help the team win. And so I think it's just a total atmosphere. Obviously, we've got some great facilities. He's been in the SEC, so he knows it's a great league. But I think now it's the people around him now. I think they're pushing, they care about him, and he feels welcome.
There were quite a few schools recruiting I mean, as a graduate student, like Memphis and BYU and Ole Miss, I mean, what was it about him? Or just when a 6'10" guy becomes available, that's just going to attract attention?
That 6'10" guy being available, and he's a good kid. I think more important, he's a good kid. He got good grades, and you figure he can add. Yeah, he won't take it down. He would add, so that helps.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.